Let's talk about Japan, because after the yen hit a new 15-year high against the dollar, the Bank of Japan has stepped in to stop the yen's rise. Now, for the first time in 6 years, the central bank intervened in the currency markets, effectively selling yen and buying up dollars in order to lower the yen's value. And it seems to be working, because shortly afterwards there was a marked step change in the yen's value, actually dropped around 2%. And now a dollar will buy you considerably more yen than it did before. OK, well, let's go straight over to our Tokyo bureau because Eamonn Fingleton, he's written a book about Japanese industry. It's called In Praise of Hard Industries. Eamonn, welcome to BBC World News. Let's talk about what we saw today, because after much talk, it's finally happened. But in your perspective, I want to ask you this. Was it the right move and for the right reasons?
It's hard to know, Aaron. I think that the basic situation here is that Japanese industry is extremely strong. If you look at the export performance last year, a terrible year for the world economy, Japan's exporters were really doing better than almost any other countries. The current account surplus last year was $141 billion, second only to China's. And of course, China has 10 times Japan's population. So essentially, when they intervene, we have to wonder how successful the intervention will be, because the economy here justifies a rather high level for the yen. I would guess considerably higher even than today's level.
But I want to ask you this, though, because there are some reports out there that this was perhaps more of a theatrical move than an economic one.
I think that there are constituencies within Japan that have to be looked after, and therefore, indeed, the politics of the situation suggests that the authorities had to do something. Whether the intervention will prove permanent in keeping the yen down, I doubt it. OK. I know, obviously, exporters are wiping their brow, if you will, for now. At least they don't like a stronger yen. But for us laymen around the world watching this, tell us, is in terms of the broader Japanese economy, is a stronger or weaker yen favourable? Well, a strong yen, of course, is good for Japanese consumers because they pay less in yen terms for any imported goods they buy. I think the key here is the manufacturing sector. People in the West think that Japan still makes television sets. The Japanese actually leave that to the Chinese. The Japanese are making very, very advanced capital-intensive goods. For instance, the key machines that are used to equip the world's factories, the machines that, for instance, China has to buy to make cars. Where does China buy that stuff? It buys it from Japan because there are no suppliers in China. Indeed, there are no suppliers outside Japan or Germany. The machines that make semiconductors, again, Japan is a dominant player in that category. Go right across the board in advanced manufacturing, and Japan is a player and typically the world's leading player. And it's typically in products that the consumer never sees. It's advanced materials, very advanced components, and of course the machines in the world's factories.
OK, Eamonn Fingleton, live from Tokyo. Thanks very much for joining us, Eamonn. We much appreciate your input there.